Hello and welcome back to the Shooter's Roll. I am Reg and I'm here with the lovely D-Swizzle and T to my right. This episode we are talking about MVP and who we think is going to take out the coveted title for the 2019-2020 season. Let's get it started. D-Swizzle, who have you got?
Who have I got? First guy I got off the rank, and I touched base on this guy in our last episode. I like Jokic. I think he is going to have the season for not only the Nuggets, but for all big men out there. Point guard centers. There is no one like Jokic who is playing currently, and even historically, I've got him as one of my best passing big men ever. I'll throw out some, fun facts out there. Kareem and Wilt averaged over 4 assists a game for 9 seasons in their careers. Topping that, KG as well as C-Web averaged over 4 assists in 10 seasons. It's a big sample space, and it just shows the crop, the creme de la creme of the crop of passing big men. And I think Jokic can and will better those big names, those all-stars, those Hall of Famers. Even coming from, simple, where he was drafted. Not a lot of fanfare. Second round, 41st overall, to becoming that diamond in the rough that teams look for in the draft. I think he's shown his wares in the past 3 seasons. Just looking at some of his stats, last year averaged 20.1 points on 51% field goal percentage, 10.8 rebounds, 7.2 assists, while averaging 31 minutes a game, over 80 games. His career stats aren't that far either, playing in 308 games, 16 points a game, shooting at 52%, 9.6 rebounds and 5.1 assists. That is already, in his last, that takes into account his 4 active years that he's been playing. His last 3 seasons, he's been putting up monster numbers. I think he'll do it again this season. I think when it comes to MVP voting, how successful a team does plays a big role in votes. I think the Nuggets will do great throughout the regular season, and that will play a big factor in why Nikola Jokic will be this season's MVP.
Big call, right? I understand he's a good player, but when you think about NBA player or professional basketball player, you look at his body.
Yeah. I'm
just saying. I think if he wants to get to the next level, he has to get serious about his body, like his body fat and all that. Like basketball skills, like it's there. I see it. But in terms of just as athlete, like you don't think an NBA player has his body type.
But he's still playing a lot of minutes. He's still effective on the floor. His physique is not LeBron James-esque, but he's certainly putting up LeBron James-esque numbers. And look, there is a lot of talent in the NBA, and even at that pointy end, that elite pointy end of the league, he will still be, in my view, Jokic, will still, in my view, this season, ball out. Last season, he got his first All-Star nod, and was also selected in the All-NBA first team with Steph, Harden, PG, and Giannis. That's some elite company there. And if we're talking about, the best of the best, he's already been recognised as the best of the best in his position at centre. I think he can one-up that this season and be the best of the best of everybody, every single player. That's my thoughts. T,
Yeah, fair call. Fair call.
who you got?
But I like, we mentioned it, and I like Giannis. Him having a statement this off-season that he's like 60% of a player that he is today. So he's got like 40% growth. And the way they got knocked out of the playoffs, the Raptors just wore him up. That will give him the eagerness to come in this season to lead a new team, and also become like a jump shooter, get a relevant jump shot. I just see him as an unguardable force, and he has a better body than Jokic. That's an NBA body.
Well, he works out. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So outside of that, I guess I'll bring up James Harden. He's always been on the edge, and he won it last year, the year before. This year, like the Houston, we didn't even talk about Houston in the last episode. Like, I guess they're consistent, but they haven't shown that they can win in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But the award we're talking about is the MVP of the regular season.
That's right.
So he's pretty much the most unguardable player in the NBA, bar none. Like, he's got a step back 3-pointer. He drives to the hole, gets fouled multiple times. Like, he takes like 10 to 12 free throws a game. Like, the refs love making calls for him.
I guess the difference with Harden this season is he's got another potential MVP candidate in Westbrook playing next to him. How is that going to affect his chances of MVP?
But I think they're boys. So they've played together before, and they've played their style. So you got 2 MVPs on one team, and you got no championships or no conference finals. I'm pretty sure. I think they'll basically work it out between themselves. I think once one gets going, the other one will step back. And I think James Harden is the alpha in that combination anyway. So,
is he the alpha because he's got he's been the longest serving player out of him and Westbrook in this current situation?
I think so because Westbrook came to Houston.
That's right.
Yeah, so I think that he will open his arms like for the regular season. There'll be like this, my turn, your turn, I guess what they had before, but hopefully they'll work it all out before the playoffs, and then Harden will take the reins. He has to, because Westbrook can't shoot from anywhere.
What the good omen for Harden playing with Westbrook is that historically, and this has been shown, Westbrook teammates have actually got the MVP. Durant back in OKC, last season he made Paul George have his best season ever.
True.
Playing the quote number 2 role unquote, even though Paul George made the All NBA first team. You could argue that he even had a better season than Russ last season. Russ has been criticised in the past for stat padding, but just those 2 examples have shown that Russ can make players better by playing with him, getting that attention away from the first option or the second option, because Russ is a first option when it comes down to it.
That is a good point. Just continuing on the Western Conference potential candidates, I have a strong feeling it'll be Steph Curry this season.
Wow.
Wow. Look, everybody's left him, but that just gives him more opportunity, right? He's got Clay out injured. He's part of this rebuilding Warriors team, and everybody's got low expectations for the Warriors this year. But this is a team that we're talking about a ridiculously high standard for this team. They won't accept anything lower than top 4. And the man that is going to take them to top 4 is Steph Curry, which is going to take him to MVP.
That's a big call.
Yeah, it is.
He did get hounded in last year's NBA Finals.
Yes.
Albeit he probably hadn't been used to it in years since Durant was there, taking the focus away from him. Steph's a smart player. I think he will learn from that finals experience and, if more than ever, find ways to get open, because he's always had that quality about him is to get the open shot. I do worry though that teams are gonna dog him and really stifle him and not give him room to breathe. What do you think about that?
Curry's a guy who finds the open shot. He just finds a way. And look, I think this is going to be an opportunity for him to stand up and take it to another level. He takes it to a new level every single season, and this will be an opportunity for him to stand up above the rest and show that KD shouldn't have left, and that this team is still his team.
Oh, big call. Yeah, I think it's fair statements about Curry. But the question is, will Golden State let him play as many games to qualify for the MVP? Because you think about they're coming through like a 5-year period where they made the finals every year. And then with Clay gone for about half or most of the season, are they going to choose to pack it in if they get a certain amount of losses? You think about if they start out and they're under 500, halfway through the season they're like 20 games off the lead or 20 games off the playoff pace. Would they just pack it in and then make him sit the whole season?
Are you saying that Golden State, the Warriors, won't make the playoffs?
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that if they do, like if they get on the Premier, like bottom, like in the top 10, between 8 and 10, then I reckon they'll pack it in and just choose this year as absent year, and allow all their guys, all the horses to recover, and then come back hard next year for the next 5 years.
I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't know. Steve Kerr is going to look after his stars, and he's been doing it for years already. He pick and choosing. I mean, that was the wealth of talent on that roster, is that they had stars where they could rest one superstar and still have 3 or 4 superstars still playing. I don't think he doesn't have that luxury this year. Draymond has to have a huge season. For Steph, when we're talking about the MVP race, for Steph to, in my view, be in contention for it, I think Draymond has to play his role, get some of the attention away from Steph, take that pressure off him. Signed a big deal in the off-season. That's a lot of faith in an aging big man. But that Draymond is still the heart and soul of the Warriors. But Steph is the leader, and Steph is the point man, and Steph is the guy that's going to win you games. In my view, I think Draymond has to play and do his part in order for Steph to get the crown as the best player in the world.
So you're thinking about the Warriors pre-KD?
Well, they've done it before. They've won before, but they are older now.
Yeah, and the makeup of the team is different now.
And it's different. I mean, the big acquisition of deloading will be key. How much pressure he can take off Steph. He's pretty much slotting into Clay's shoes until Clay gets healthy. That's going to be a big. They're big shoes to fill. Especially because Clay plays two-way. He plays the D. He marks up on the other team's best player. Whether or not D'Angelo can be as efficient as Clay as well on the offensive end is something to see. There's a lot of question marks, I think, with Golden State. But it is a bold prediction, Reg, going with Steph. But if anyone who, in modern times, Steph has revolutionized the game.
He has.
It wouldn't surprise me if he adds another layer on that process. It's a big test for him this year.
It will be. Now, the other bold prediction I have for MVP is The big man, Joel Embiid.
Oh, the process!
Vegas.
The process.
Once again, we don't show any bias on this podcast.
Definitely not.
I wanna watch you wear a Sixers
not,
jersey.
I'm not a Sixers fan.
Lies. We also said we don't lie on this podcast either, but we're doing it.
But I think the only thing that is stopping Embiid from being MVP is his health. If he can stay healthy this season, which I think he will, and fix up his fitness, his diet, he will be in running for the MVP.
They do have a stacked roster.
They
They
do.
got to share that rock around.
They do.
Is Embiid still the top dog?
I think it is. He thrives off the pressure and wanting to be the best. So the more pressure he has, the more competitors he has, especially standing right next to him, he's going to stand up to it. He's going to be better.
Is he still the face of the franchise? They got Simmons on a large extension over the summer, signed him up.
5 years, 170.
Is that
Yeah.
a signal to Embiid? Is that motivation?
No,
is he going to
it's-
take it the right way?
It's the Jojo and Ben show.
So they can share.
Yeah.
Okay.
Philly is Jojo and Ben. And more so Jojo this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still concerned that how they're going to share that ball around with Tobias is still in the mix.
Yeah.
Richardson, the new acquisition. I mean, I don't think he'll be ball dominant, and I think that's a wise thing. But they still got Horford. Is Embiid still going to be the man in Philly?
Yeah, I think he will. His stats speak for themselves, and look, like I said, he's going to be bigger and better. Like, as long as he stays healthy, yeah.
Big call. Big call.
Yeah, I think Philly, right? With like how you said, Draymond needs to play well for Steph to win.
Yeah.
I think Simmons has to develop that jump shot and free up the paint. Because at the moment, like last season, the paint was just crowded with him himself, and I guess it was Simmons and Embiid. If Simmons comes out with his jump shot that he's working on, I guess we've seen clips of him working on the jump shot. It looks pretty smooth. There's no D on him, but it looks pretty smooth without defense. If he gets that consistency to become like a 30% 3-point shooter, like 40% on the field, that's like low ratings. But if he gets to that level, I think it allows Embiid to be the monster inside.
Yeah.
And if Embiid needs to eat down there, because I find that sometimes he gets frustrated. Maybe last year because the team was so stacked with Jimmy, he came out a lot for the three because he wouldn't get the ball for a lot of possessions, and he got frustrated, so he came out and just shot the three. He's a 30%. He's an average shooter, but he needs to be in the paint and just foul out the other team and just put all the attention back onto the center, the opposition center, and the power forwards. Because like hands down, I think Embiid's probably the best big man out there, number 5.
And really, last season, Horford was the only guy who could stop Embiid. And now he's got Horford standing next to him, playing alongside him. Who else can stop him offensively when he's in the paint?
If he's not lazy,
Yeah.
if he posts up properly like Shaq or the great centers that played, using drop step, hook, fadeaways, if he consistently brings out every game, if he wants to work hard and get punished down low, then he'll be in the conversation for sure by the end of the year.
All right. Anybody else got any other?
I've got one more. It's I wouldn't say it's out there because Dame Dollar has been doing Dame Dollar things for a long time.
He just released an album, didn't he?
He did.
Sign of things to come.
So if you sign,
It's gonna
if
be
you make an
another
album, are you meant to become MVP? Is that how it works?
That's not how it works.
Sign up, MVP, millionaire.
Well, just on that point, multiple interests, it feeds world champions. I'm just going to use a out there non-basketball related example. Lewis Hamilton, F1 champion, is diversifying his career. He designs for Tommy. These outlets, these creative outlets, make Lewis a better racing car driver. I think I'm not saying that dropping a new album will get him the MVP or that he's going to be more focused. But I think Dame is the model of consistency. The reason why I say Dame this year is that Dame does not slack off, in my view. He's got that killer instinct. He sent OKC out of the playoffs, waved them goodbye. If he didn't hit that shot, who knows, Paul George might still be there. This is a big if, in the land of ifs. If he didn't hit that shot, would the NBA landscape be what it is currently? I'm just looking at, over Dame's career stats, over 549 games, 23.5 points at 43%, field goal percentage, 4.2 boards, 6.3 assists. You've got a well-rounded game there. What's going to take him over the top? If Portland have completely, every season, they go under the radar. No one really talks about Portland winning the championship or making waves. There's always been bigger name teams to come out and overshadow Portland. But, Portland have secured their backcourt for years to come. Portland have dished out an extension to not only McCollum but also Dame, to the tune of 4-year Supermax deal, extending his contract and paying him $196 million with a player option of $54 million at the final year of that contract. That's 5 years on top of his current deal. 4 years on top of his current deal, which expires at the end of the 2021 season. A lot of twos there. But with that consistency, I think that he will find that next leg up. He's previously been overlooked for all-star teams, despite his statistics. He's made 4 now. Last year, he made the All-NBA second team. I think he can kick it up another gear. I think Portland will have a good season, and that good season will dictate the way Dame gets looked at for the MVP. I think he'll have a monster season going into what would no doubt be a tough Western Conference, but he's done it in the past. And when the playoffs come, it's Dame time. It's Dame time. So that's my take on my 2 MVP candidates for the year.
All right, thanks for sharing, D-Swizzle. Any final thoughts, anyone?
I think we've got all our picks, so it'll be interesting to see you play this back and see who gets it right or who gets the closest to correct.
Yeah.
Maybe we should put down a bet down.
On the side.
Anyone willing to put it on camera?
I reckon we put a bet down. We've just put like a case of soft drink or beer. Let's put it down. So you got your picks. Who's your picks?
Jokic.
Yep.
I'm taking Jokic and Dame to take it out. They're my 2 picks.
Yeah, Reg, what's your picks?
Curry or Embiid?
And my picks were the Greek Freak, Giannis, and Harden.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Tune back in to see who wins the bet. This has been another episode of Shooters Roll. Thank you for watching. Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Shooters Roll. We hope you enjoyed it. You can find all of our other videos on YouTube or find us on SoundCloud.